Have you ever met someone who made your heart race the moment they walked into the room, but somehow left your mind completely exhausted afterward? You check your phone. You reread their texts. You wonder why they haven't replied. You analyze every look, every word, every tiny change in their behavior. And the more confusing they become, the more you think about them. You tell yourself, this must be chemistry. But what if it isn't? What if the butterflies are anxiety? What if the mystery is emotional unavailability? What if your obsession isn't love, but your brain desperately trying to predict someone who keeps giving you mixed signals? Because here's the truth nobody talks about. The strongest attraction isn't always the healthiest attraction. Some crushes don't lead to love. They lead to self-doubt, emotional exhaustion, and chasing someone who was never truly available. Today, we're exposing 7 toxic types of crushes you should recognize before you get attached. And number 7 may be the one you've been calling love. One day, they're all over you. They text first, they flirt, they make you feel wanted, they remember little things about you, and suddenly, you're convinced there's something special between you. Then, everything changes. They pull away. Their replies become shorter. They disappear for hours or even days, and you're left staring at your phone, wondering what you did wrong. But just when you finally decide to move on, they come back. Hey, stranger. I've been thinking about you. Sorry, I've just been busy. And instantly, that emotional rush returns. Here's what makes this so dangerous. Your brain can become hooked on unpredictable attention. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement, when rewards come randomly, making you chase them even harder. You may think you're falling deeper in love, but you might actually be addicted to the uncertainty. Remember this: healthy attraction brings clarity. Toxic attraction keeps you guessing. If someone repeatedly pulls you close just to push you away, don't mistake the emotional roller coaster for chemistry. Consistency is attractive. Confusion is exhausting. This person might seem almost perfect. They're attractive, intelligent, funny, confident, and genuinely interesting. When you're together, the connection feels effortless. You laugh, you talk for hours, you feel like they understand you in a way most people don't. But the moment things become emotionally real, they pull away. You open your heart. They build a wall. You ask where this is going. And suddenly you hear, I don't know. I'm not ready. Let's just see what happens. And instead of listening to their answer, you start imagining their potential. You think, maybe I can change their mind. That's where the trap begins. You're no longer falling for who they are. You're falling for who you hope they'll become. But potential isn't commitment. Chemistry isn't emotional availability. And you cannot love someone into becoming ready, so stop measuring someone by the future you imagine with them. Watch what they consistently give you right now. Because sometimes the person you desperately want isn't the person capable of giving you the love you actually deserve. This person loves attention, and they know exactly how to get it. They flirt with you, compliment you, make you feel attractive, interesting, and completely irresistible. For a moment you think, wow, maybe I'm the one they really want. But then you notice something. They do the same thing with everyone. Their DMs are full. Their social media is filled with flirty interactions. They constantly need reassurance that people find them attractive. And strangely, whenever you start pulling away, their interest suddenly comes rushing back. Why? Because they may not actually want you. They may want the feeling of being wanted. And those are two completely different things. A validation-seeking person can make you feel incredibly special, while simultaneously making everyone around them feel special too. Soon, you're competing for attention you should never have had to compete for. So remember, being desired isn't the same as being valued. Don't chase someone who needs an audience. Choose someone who recognizes your worth, even when nobody else is watching. This one feels different because it feels noble. You see their pain, you hear their story, you notice the wounds they rarely show anyone else. And suddenly you think, maybe I can be the person who finally changes them. Maybe they've been betrayed. Maybe they've been hurt. Maybe they've never experienced healthy love. So you become patient. You make excuses for their behavior. You tolerate things that once would have been deal breakers. Every time they hurt you, you tell yourself, they're just scared. They've been through a lot. They'll change eventually. But here's the truth. Understanding someone's wounds doesn't mean volunteering to become another one. You can have compassion without accepting disrespect. You can understand their past without allowing it to destroy your present. And you cannot save someone who doesn't want to save themselves. You're their partner, not their therapist, rescuer, or rehabilitation program. Love should be a partnership, not a rescue mission. Sometimes the attraction feels strongest precisely because you can't have them. Maybe they're already in a relationship. Maybe they're your friend's partner. Maybe there's a serious professional boundary. Or maybe the situation would create consequences you already know you don't want. And suddenly, the obstacle makes them seem even more desirable. Why? Because when something feels scarce or unavailable, your brain can start assigning it greater value. But here's the trap. Difficulty doesn't mean destiny. Forbidden doesn't automatically mean special. Sometimes you're not falling in love with the person. You're falling in love with the fantasy. You imagine the late-night conversations, the perfect future, the moment everything finally works out, but reality may look completely different. And the longer you feed that fantasy, the harder it becomes to notice people who are actually available, healthy, and ready to choose you. Not every powerful attraction deserves to become a relationship. Sometimes the strongest move you can make is walking away from something your heart desperately wants, but your wisdom knows you shouldn't pursue. Now, this one deserves your full attention. I'm not talking about diagnosing someone with narcissistic personality disorder based on a few behaviors. I'm talking about repeated patterns of manipulation, control, and emotional pressure. At first, they may love bomb you. Constant compliments, constant messages, constant attention. You think, finally, someone who truly gets me. Then slowly, everything changes. They criticize you. They provoke jealousy. They disappear to punish you. They twist conversations until you're questioning your own feelings. And somehow, you're always the one apologizing. And now, you're chasing the version of them you met in the beginning. But healthy love doesn't make you earn basic respect. If someone repeatedly controls you, isolates you, manipulates your emotions, or makes you doubt your reality, don't romanticize the intensity. Intensity isn't intimacy. And remember, obsession can feel powerful, but real love should make you feel safe, respected, and free. This may be the most painful one, because they might not treat you badly at all. They just don't truly see you. They see an image. Maybe they love your appearance, your success, your confidence, the way you make them feel. Or maybe they love the version of you that always agrees, always smiles, and never asks for too much. But then you show them the real you, your boundaries, your flaws, your opinions, your ambitions, your needs, and suddenly their interest starts fading. That's when the truth hits. They weren't falling in love with you. They were falling in love with a version of you that was convenient for them. Real connection has room for your entire identity, your strengths, weaknesses, boundaries, individuality, and growth. If someone only likes you when you're easy to control, impress, or please, that isn't genuine compatibility. That's conditional acceptance. Never shrink yourself just to keep someone interested. The right person won't require you to disappear to be loved. So let's bring all 7 toxic crushes together. The hot and cold crush, the emotionally unavailable crush, the validation seeker, the person you think you can fix, the forbidden crush, the manipulative crush, and the person who only loves the idea of you. But here's what connects them all. They can make you chase something instead of consciously choosing something. And that difference can change your entire love life. Healthy attraction doesn't constantly make you question your worth. It doesn't force you to decode every text, compete for basic attention, or become someone you're not just to keep someone interested. The goal isn't to stop feeling attraction. It's to understand what your attraction is responding to. Sometimes your heart says, I want them. But wisdom asks, are they actually good for me? That one question can protect your peace and save you months, even years, of emotional pain. So the next time you develop a powerful crush, don't just ask, why am I so attracted to this person? Ask the question that matters more. How do I feel after being around them? Do you feel peaceful, respected, secure, seen? Or do you feel anxious, confused, rejected, obsessed, and constantly desperate for their attention? Because the person who gives you the biggest emotional high isn't necessarily the person who deserves your heart. Healthy love doesn't always begin with fireworks. Sometimes it begins quietly, with consistency, honesty, respect, emotional safety, and peace. So slow down, watch their behavior, listen to their actions, notice the pattern, and remember, you don't need someone who makes your heart race. You need someone who makes your heart feel safe. If this video made you think of someone, don't ignore that feeling. Step back. Choose clarity. And most importantly, choose yourself before you lose yourself trying to win someone else.